Up on the right-hand side to start off this matchup, we have, of course, your hometown squad here from Saints Nation. We've got Gub, Jello, Wombat, Sushi, and Stralls. Meanwhile, on the other side, we do have for Northeastern, Arca, Berberville, Darm, Natex, and JCN. Took me a little bit to kind of get the translation on a couple of these ones, but looking forward to the matchup as hands. And of course, last but not least, coaching squad. Northeastern not going to be bringing a coach this time by, but of course we do have on the Saints side, we do have Artemis going to be the voice of reason for this Sinclair squad, I'm sure, as the game goes along. Going to be starting off on split, of course, best of 3 action here in this NACE final. Not long enough to actually warrant major exhaustion, but I mean, depending on how these games can go, let's be honest, Valorant can definitely take a toll on you the longer you play the dang thing. Looking at the team compositions, looks like our Saints are basically going to be bringing something pretty standard for the most part. But looking at the side of Northeastern, they're bringing something a little bit interesting, of course, with Arena. Getting confident there on the Duelist, to say the least. But GLHF's thrown around as we start up one of many matches happening here tonight across the Nexus. Of course, actually, we have 5 streams going, or we will have 5 streams going come 8:30 or so. Varsity Valorant will be playing on Saints Gaming CA1. Eventually, Varsity Call of Duty going to be on Saints Gaming CA2 for their, both of those are going to be semi-final matchups. Saints Gaming CA3, of course, here has Academy's Valorant's final matchup. Same thing with the Saints Gaming C4, where you have the Saints Call of Duty squad in NACE finals. Then on Saints Gaming CA5, currently underway as well, will be the Counter-Strike team in their NECC semifinal. But to start off this one, it is going to be Wombat taken down here. Burble and Arca find themselves in a fantastic position here, just absolutely shredding the Saints in very, very quick succession. Gub's the closest one there. Granted, a lot of work to do here. With the spike being taken down right in the midsection, you can see all of the Northeastern squad. It's just sitting there waiting for it. Gub and, let's see here, Jello. Bit of a pincer attack, but a lot of angles basically covered. We could, of course, see the silhouette. Shots fired. Jello finds one. On the other side here, we do have Gub. It's going to find the second. Somehow the Saints have managed to turn this into an even battle. Have the spike. How did they breach that? Very, very well done there from both Jello and Gub, and they're going to be able to run this one all the way towards a site. Natex as well as JCN, left. All unawares. At least as of this moment. Definitely taking their time trying to figure out where to end up going. Okay, the turret's going to give things away here. Now this is going to be where Natex starts to make their move. Shrapnel nade going to make things extremely difficult as well. Natex knows the Saints have to try and make their move. That is going to be the one down, but it does mean that Gub has to plant this thing. Here comes Natex. It's going to be in time. Plants, looks for them. Gub Kitten is actually hanging on. No damage done, but Natex is going to be able to finish the job nice and quickly here. I mean, I say quickly, but let's be honest, that was actually still a very, very well-fought round here for St. Clair. They very well could have probably just gotten shredded down the middle of the map and basically called that a round, but did not go down without a fight. A fantastic play there from Jello and Gub to get to the spike and moving on over, but could not quite seal the deal there. Good out for pistols once again here. A couple sheriffs in the pockets of Jello and Stralls as well. Meanwhile, on the side of Northeastern, going to be picking up a couple of rifles, and a couple of submachine guns to put it lightly.
Cover going out.
Or to keep it simple, rather. Right off the start, Wombat Shorty in the pocket. It's going to get blinded. It's going to be point blank with a bunch of the members of Northeastern. It's definitely a troublesome position to get into. Stralls taking a lot of heat as well. Does have the spike in hand. Could be troublesome had they fallen. Gonna try and maybe make a retreat. Jello, possibly. It's a bit of an engage here. No, waiting for it. They're gonna rotate on through. As we do see Jello, prime positioning. Wait for it, wait for it. Secured. Nobody else home, though. This is going to be perfect timing now for the rest of the Saints to make their way on through. You see number 5. That is going to be Archon making their way towards center. And number 9, JCN. He's going to get taken down as well. Fantastic job there for Jello. Eventually going to get fragged out. But the Saints, fantastic positioning, actually. Do take so many members of Northeastern down. Spike is down on top of that. Both players know exactly where they are. And Strawls, a fantastic little thrifty there for the Saints to take over and get this one tied up 1-1 nice and quickly.
They're gonna find out we weren't buried, just planted.
Can never underestimate what a couple pistols and the Sheriff can do, and the Saints proved exactly why. Sure, you may have a couple of guns that shoot a little bit quicker with those SMGs. You might have some extra range and a little extra firepower there with the Guardians. But the positioning was just too strong there for St. Clair, and we're able to just run away with the round. One new round. Deep down the middle. Barely find themselves there. Mini engaged. Nade's not going to get anybody this time by at least. Hovering through middle. Sushi tries to get the shot off. Not quite going to be able to find it. Up to Strawls now. Alongside Wombat in the center. Nice shot there from Wombat. Spraying on through. Smoke's going to make things a little bit difficult. The one player does run out. But Strawls is going to be able to take that one down nice and quickly. 3-on-4 now with about a minute left to go into this round. The rest of the Saints debating on what not to do. Barbaro. In the center, not going to be able to see anybody through the smoke as once again Saints returning towards that A site. Atex is probably getting a little bit used to this by now. It seems to be a pattern here for the Saints,
Here.
at least early in this round on split. Wombat going to be the first one to charge in. Shrapnel Nade's going to be doing some damage. A little bit of a different play, however, though. Through the smoke, the Killjoy trying to make their way on through. Waits for their teammates, though. So Spike is down. Retake attempt has to come up huge here for Northeastern if they want to stop this in its tracks. What does Natex and the rest of Northeastern try to do? We see Burble up at the top. It's going to be the one for no. Jello gets 2 off of that. Beautifully done. Now it's all up to Burberville or Burberryville to get this one done. I think they might just hang on to the gun and call it a day, or nope, going to be making their way on through. As we see the rest of the Saints in retreat. Northeastern are going to try and see if they can maybe sneak an elimination or two, but yeah, it is all for naught. This one going to get blown up right in their face, unfortunately. And that is going to be Saints finding their second round here in this one. Well, 2 good rounds in a row. Definitely going to kickstart the St. Clair economy. Rifles and basically full armor all in hand here. Nice and comfortable. Meanwhile, on the side of Northeastern, granted they all have rifles, but the armor is definitely going to be hurting a little bit worse for wear. 2 of the players have full. Meanwhile, the rest of them have half, it looks like. And this time, maybe the Saints looking to change it up a little bit. Gub, I'm going to lead the charge here for St. Clair over towards that B site, at least temporarily. The only one person there is going to be JCN. But the Saints are looking to maybe make a loop back around towards the middle. Girl's dog here for the info. Going to spot the one player off on the left-hand side. Maybe that is the go button here. For Saints to make a move. That's going to be Sushi going down. Wombat holding the center, but the rest of the Saints going to be looking to maybe make a rotate here. As Strawls is going to be making the move right back up there with Gub to maybe make a push towards that B side. with everybody moving basically the exact same way. I thought that we were disconnecting there for a second, but nope. Everybody's just playing their angles, taking their time, as you're going to see Saints making their way towards B site. One thing to note as this is happening though, Jello is making a bit of a ruckus down on the other side to really make it seem like it is going to be the A push. But as they do this, the rest of the Saints going to be making their way on board. Strauss is going to be able to plant this thing, but they're going to get into some hot pursuit action very, very quickly here, as the rest of Northeastern University are right around the corner. Bad up in the top is not going to be able to get the elimination. Gubb is going to be there for the refrag, but then on the flank as well, Jello is there, finds the one. Jello, the last one alive versus 3. Not going to be able to do it. For Berryville, going to be able to get the triple that time by and save the round here for Northeastern. I mean, what the Saints was doing in that round, it was definitely cute, but just could not quite get the finishing touches necessary to get the job done on that round. Jello's flank was an interesting attempt, but grab the one, it did manage to take care of Natex, but was just not enough noise, I guess, to make them truly believe that they were going towards that A site.
Shadows traveling.
Okay, off we go, and it's going to be a pretty tried and true start here. The Saints kind of hovering towards the middle on this next attack. Shots fired from Sushi towards Dharma in this instance. Completely healthy. There's a right-hand side. Jello alongside Berryville. Arca here once again as well. Jello, though, is going to be able to find that first initial elimination. Maybe open up that right-hand side if the Saints are lucky. There could be another collision course actually happening right here. But Berryville is just going to feed themselves on over to Jello. Fantastic shot there from Jello, which is going to force the rotation once again and allow the Saints to move pretty much exactly where they may please. Wombat going to clear up the middle with the rest of the Saints as well. All the options available. All up to JCN to try and somehow hold against, I think, 3 or 4 here from the Saints. Reinforcements are coming, but it may be too little too late. Arca, the last one available here for the side of Northeastern. And just a very, very tall task. Would not be surprised to see them run away with this gun. Try and hang on to it. But opting to try and make the challenge and opting to run directly in the Sushi. Who's going to finish the job here. Very, very dominating round here for St. Clair.
Clean slate. Let's leave whatever happened in the past.
So after that dominating round, the Saints definitely having the firepower advantage in this instance. Lots of pistols across the board here for Northeastern. Not much left in the tank, really. Try and take the head-on fight. Jello going to find first blood here. Again on that right-hand side. Look away for just the moments of notice, and sure enough, takes them down. Going to actually opt to rotate early to join this rest of the Saints in the middle. And Saints don't realize this, but literally everybody on the side of Northeastern has run towards that A site, thinking that they were doing the play that they basically have been doing this entire game. But this will, of course, allow for the rest of the Saints to move on forward. Do they realize how safe they are? The dog is going to spot out Jello.
I've got your trail.
Going to be ult coming out as well there from Arca. Is going to be able to spot Jello, but Jello's going to be able to retreat on in to the sewers to get themselves out of dodge here. Spike is down. Saints just getting into their post plans. Shots fired. JCN, fantastic start for them to be able to get that elimination there onto Wombat. Now over to the southern side. We have 2 kind of chasing Arca right now. gets right through the ultimate, and Gub's going to be able to secure that one. JCN and the rest of the Northeastern squad have made it on over. They do manage to take care of Strahls, but there's still 2 Saints there. Gub in a fantastic position, but so is Natex actually. Gets 1, he gets a second, gets a third on this one. It is all going to be up to Natex to try and defend this versus the 2 Saints. Jello and Gub. Good acid coming on through to make this extremely difficult, and Gub with the 4K is going to secure round 4 here for the Saints. Well, Natex had a good little run there in the middle of that round. Got, I think, a double or a triple kill under their belt, but could not swing it around for the rest of the Northeastern squad to get the job done. The 2 ultimates in the pocket there for Northeastern. 3, borderline 4. Wombat just gets 1 orb or 1 elimination. What's the game plan this time? Gonna walk right into a smoke and make things a little bit difficult here for Saints to really take this midsection nice and confidently. But when you got a raise, you just send it, you get the rocket, and you get rocked yourself apparently, as that one just did not go into the Saints' favor in the slightest. Fantastic play there from Darm and the rest of this Northeastern squad to get themselves into that. Gub kind of sniffing them out and immediately turning around. Had they only known, shotgun in the pocket could be deadly. Wombat, you'd have no idea what you're looking into. Though, so close. So close if they only knew. Watch as I move. Okay, not quite. I know as soon as I get off of that one person that they would have eventually made the move, but they're actually going to surprise me this time. 4 on 3 in the favor of Northeastern. That's going to be the Defender's Killjoy ultimate coming on out here. Natex not going to realize that the rest of the Saints are diving on through until just now. Get some damage done, but now with the detain, going to make things extremely difficult for the Saints to get anything done. A very, very ballsy play there from the Saints, but they are going to absolutely fall into the trap of Northeastern and give up those guns. Granted, they have the economy to get away with it. They should be able to load back up, but no problem. But a very, very interesting choice to just go directly into the Killjoy ult. Okay, off the starts here, we are going to see Darm get the best with that rocket, actually. Completely taking him down. Wombat nearly finding the knife, but it's just going directly into Darm over and over and over again. And that is a 4K for Darm in such quick fashion. The Saints' rush has been defeated. Of course, once again, lots of action across the Nexus. I hope you have a bunch of tabs. In about an hour's time, we will have 5 matches happening across the Nexus at the exact same time, all on stream from Saints Gaming CA, the main channel, to Saints Gaming CA 5. Lots of people doing some fantastic work today to make sure all of these playoff games are getting covered for y'all here tonight. Wombat may go down, but Gub is at least going to trade it up pretty well immediately. Finds a second one at that. Nicely done. Getting the elimination there onto Darm, and now it's the Saints' opportunity to maybe make that A rotate, but we do see Natex once again hovering around that A position, but this time in a bit of a different angle, trying not to get caught, because there was a couple of times there where it seemed like Jello had their number. JCN getting aggressive towards the sewers as well. Maybe getting a little bit used to this pattern that the Saints have been doing, at least in a couple of the early rounds. I know they tried to mix it up, but this is basically what had worked for them for the last little bit. JCN to the flank. Oh, does immediately find Gub. which should allow for the Saints to realize, like, hey, we need to move now, otherwise we're going to get collapsed on. But there is still the Reyna all the way on the other side, and that is not going to do them any justice at all. Granted, NACE and the rest of the Northeastern did do a good job to at least get it down to 2. But now with the spike planted and Burberryville has to go all the way from one side to the other, it gives the Saints all the time in the world to try and set up this post plant. And they're immediately going to get spotted, shot down. Sushi, no chance. Saints leading by 4.
Gear up, stay safe. We're going back in.
Burberryville thinking about an op this time by, gonna opt against it. Back to the Phantom this time. I don't think, well, we might have seen the one op earlier, a couple rounds ago. Didn't necessarily make an impact, however. A little bit awkward on this map, I feel. Too many close corridors.
There.
Really only a couple of sightlines that actually like make major value of it. At least from my untrained mind, as we're going to see. Big engagement. Sushi and Strauss, though, immediately 1-2 tap. And how about Wombat for the Wombo combo, getting themselves the 3rd? In theory, this should be a fantastic opening for the Saints to make whatever move they please. Atex, though, sneaks around, finds the 1. Wombat is going to be able to try and come around and get the refrag. Successful at doing so. All up to JCN now to try and make this 4v1 retake end up going down. Obviously a tall task at hand. Strauss with the spike in hand going to run all the way down to that A site, knowing that the rest of their team has cleared the way. Plant this thing as deep into the pocket as you can. And just make it so awkward for JCN to try and do anything. And you can see, still not even necessarily 100% committing to the fact that it wasn't going to the B side until now. Now that the spike is planted, now the mind games begin. Which way do they end up going? We do see Wombat and Jello actually going for the aggressive route. Maybe do a little bit of hunting. We go point blank there with JCN. Triple kill. Or not triple kill, but 3K here in this one for Wombat. And securing that one. We do have a tech pause, though, coming on through. So the quick moment to get that one all situated. But this does give me the smallest of opportunities to hop on the other monitor here and take a look at some of the matches happening from around the Nexus. We do have on the Counter-Strike stream, so this is actually Saints Gaming CA5, semi-final NECC matchup for our Counter-Strike squad, currently at 8-8. That's going to be University of South Florida versus St. Clair, so a fantastic and entertaining start to that one as well. And of course, on the other side, on Saints Gaming CA4, we do have Academy Call of Duty in their finals matchup up against Texas A&M International University. And it looks like the first game went towards St. Clair, but Search and Destroy seems to be a little bit tougher. Currently down 2-0 there. Looking like they're having some tech issues as well, though, unfortunately. Of course, to all the beautiful people watching, I do actually have Twitch chat open here. If you're rooting for somebody in particular or whatever, let me know, and I'll gladly give you the shout-out. But I am on a 3-minute delay, though, for the sake of competitive integrity. So if I don't respond right away, that's probably why. Yeah, this tech pause definitely taking a little bit of time here. I think that was Arca that did end up calling that one out. Oh, but ours are being thrown in the chat. So, okay, we will be getting back underway in just a moment's time. And one went to the washroom, so of course, bodied by bio. But a relative back and forth here for the most part to start off this matchup. Saints, off the start, had a pretty good or I was gonna say had a pretty good spree going, but granted it took them until pistols. Lost the pistol round, but then got 2 in a row. Lost 1, got another 2. They always started kind of trading back and forth here, but now that the Northeastern squad have their momentum, it's going to basically be halftime, and we're going to flip sides in just a moment's time, I'm sure, like another round or so. What on earth is that? These skins, I tell ya. Absolutely adorable. But yeah, the pause timer is off now, so thank you for sticking around with us here. We get into the round momentarily. I was going to say only Berryville was the only one without an actual weapon, but they're bringing the big guns. They've got the Odin locked and loaded here, which could actually be devastating if the Saints do end up going. No, they did actually switch on back over to the Phantom, so I got trolled for a second there. But standard all around. Crawling their way towards the B site, we see the Saints moving once again. JCN going to spot this out, and I would imagine the rest of Northeastern are going to make their move extremely quickly here, and that they absolutely will, but they're trying to deal with Sky Ultimates at the same time. Saints managed to find 2. JCN looking for a couple, but look at all the people they have to deal with. There's no chance you can get that one. Viper Ult's going to be coming down as well from Jello just to make it that much tougher. Going to have to try and either dodge it or go on through it. Jello going to find at least 2 in that one. And the Saints absolutely blitzed that site. Do you have an idea what happened? I sure as heck didn't. I was the one observing the dang thing. It just happened so quickly. Sure enough, last round here before the half. Let's see if the Saints get themselves into that 8-4 position. Jello off to a fantastic start here. 12 eliminations to their name, with only the 6 deaths. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's basically been up to Berryville in terms of leading the charge elimination-wise. JCN, though, going to have a party on B site here in just a moment's time. But the Saints are a little bit more spread out this time. We do have Jello all the way off to the eastern side. But the Saints not going to fast commit this time by. Making their way towards the mid lane. Darm might be able to spot them in just a moment's time if they do end up making their way on over. Smoke going to come on through here to try and let the Saints get on towards the stairwell. Going directly into Darm, though. Darm does have the need to try and slow things down just that much more. Dive on through, looks for somebody. That smoke actually from Gub is going to make things extremely different. Or difficult rather. Sushi gets the big elimination as well. I believe that was with a grenade. It's a fantastic job from them to be able to get into this high ground. 3 members of Northeastern are relatively close, but the Saints are going on over to the next side. Jello, nice little refrag. Now the 3-on-4 continues.
30 seconds.
Arcog going to spot out Wombat. Wombat does end up falling. That was the spike holder as well. It's going to force Jello to go get it. But eventually, over and over again, the Northeastern squad will fall all up to Arcaw. Does find Sushi. Can they find Jello? Jello back and forth, and Arcaw just clutched that one up big time. Big 3K to win the round here for Northeastern.
Switching sides.
Tweety Mommy and Twitch chat, hello, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a great night. Something I'm trying out a little bit more over the last couple of broadcasts is kind of getting the Twitch chat, YouTube chat, where we happen to be a little bit more involved. It's a little bit more awkward when we're on this 3-minute delay. I know it was a pretty fun time yesterday for League of Legends because there was no delay, but still something we're kind of testing out here. Of course, with it being halftime, pistol round coming up once again here. Saints didn't necessarily have the greatest times the last time by. So we'll have to see if they can make it happen on the defensive side of things. Sushi and Jello Borderline collision course coming on through here. Spots out the one. Big elimination. But on the other side, we do have Sushi with the big flank. Finds one. And now Arcos just in a world of hurt. Regardless of which way you choose, you're going to be choosing wrong in the end. If the Saints are on top of it. And with the spike down in the middle. This one's looking fantastic so far for St. Clair. Atex and JCN having to actually breach on into this is just so painful. Through these smokes, you have the crossfire locked in here essentially. Try and smoke things out. The grenade coming out. JCN gonna think twice about it, wisely so. And Atex does actually manage to find the elimination onto Wombat in the meantime.
Blinding.
Saints still have a pretty decent crossfire, however. Sushi finds one, looks for a second, but has to reload. Eventually reloads, but Gub is there for the assistance as well. Eventually, the Saints clean this one up, and that is going to be 8-5. Wombat feeling a little bit confident. It looks like Marshall coming up on their end. A couple bulldogs in the pocket of the brothers. And then Sheriffs for the rest. Meanwhile, on the losing side there of that last round, Northeastern, Sheriffs and SMGs. So saving is not on the menu. They want to go now. And in fact, they're going to try and breach this thing. The launch from attack didn't necessarily hit as I think they were hoping. And Wombat going to be point blank there with a couple of them. And that was actually a solid job all around there for the side of Northeastern. The blitz attack, successful. Sushi. Gub, and then we do have Jello as well, trying to make their way on forward. But that spike is down. It is post-plant time. The refrag is not going to come into their favor as well. Hung on to Jello there to see what exactly would go down.
Cover going out.
But with only the one fall and the 1v4, all based off of a Sheriff. Could start with one, but Berryville taken down, but sure enough, there's too many angles to look at, and that one's going to be once again the team that loses the pistol round ends up winning the second. This time off of a very, very forced by blitz attack style. But honestly, good on Northeastern University for being able to pull that one off.
Going out.
Well, let's try this again. This time it's going to be the Saints kind of relying on the Sheriffs for the most part. Maybe one shotgun or an SMG to kind of mix things up. But overall, a little bit rougher. But Sushi, no stranger to the Sheriff, doing a fantastic job of finding that first initial pick. Looks like they're going to try and make their way on through. We do see Jello. Wombat is also here. Shotgun in hand, being able to take care of the doggy. Possible flank opportunity here onto Sushi. And actually onto Strauss as well. And with Sushi's position known, yeah, you're probably going to take down. That nade is live, though. Nearly dangerous there for Natex. A little bit of damage, but nothing too crazy. Wombat is there. The plant is going to end up coming on through, but Berryville's going to find Jello in the meantime. Eventually finds one more. Gub's going to get one more for their trouble. Can they pick up the gun, possibly? They tried to. They do manage to find the SMG. 1-on-3 defuse opportunity. Definitely a tall task, however.
Shadows traveling.
Try and teleport on it through. Technically, it would have worked. Tries to go for the gunshot, but not going to be able to take that ranged battle versus the Bulldog from JCN. 8-7. Northeastern, you've brought this close once again.
I need this. Here. Here.
As I peek from around the Nexus, it does look like that Counter-Strike match ended up going to 11-12, so overtime rounds possibly for that one. The way this one's going, and honestly, if the way this Valorant game's going, overtime not out of the question either. Jello gonna fire through the smoke, gonna do some decent damage actually onto Barbarieville, but thankfully for them, they will be able to heal themselves up. Jello gonna be flashed out. They must know where they are, but still manages to find Darm in the end. Doggy coming on through, looking for the blind. Not gonna end up happening. Jello, though, could find the flank right as they turn around. Gets one, looks for another. Not going to be able to be successful this time by, however. NACE going on through, runs directly into Stralls. And now the Saints finally get their first good round in a while here. Op coming on through. And Wombat's going to get full value for that one. JCN alone without the spike. Do the Saints know where that spike is? I would imagine they do. They are starting to kind of collapse in on that midsection. And Gub, I think they know what is up. JCN going to be turning the corner in just a moment's time. Get some damage on them. Gub still nice and healthy. Looking to chase. Does manage to get a glimpse of it, but that smoke just made things so irritating. A good attempt there from JCN, but an even better attempt here for St. Clair, getting themselves on the board once again, making it 9-7. Does look like the University of South Florida did take that first one in that Counter-Strike matchup. So Saints Counter-Strike going to be fighting for their life there as well. Meanwhile, for our Saints, we have some ultimates getting popped up against them nice and quick as the blitz attack comes on through once again. Wombat's going to be the first one kind of getting pressured on, and with the off, they cannot really deal with this hive movement situation, but the no-scope actually has a little shotgun, could not quite get the job done, but at least being able to get the one. Definitely valuable, all things considered, but the spike is down, so that part is a success here for the side of Northeastern. Shot fired, oh man, just barely going wide. Barbarieville not going to get too many more opportunities for a shot like that. They try it again, could not hit. Sushi, though, from the skies. The rest of the Saints diving on through. Sushi, rocket in hand. Not going to be able to find the elimination. It's all just a matter of dealing with Barbarieville, who's going to face check one, maybe two. Gonna opt to run away as the rest of the Saints are going to defuse. Then returns for just a moment's time. Maybe really banked on them not going for the defuse that quickly. Tries to get a couple of extra picks while they're defusing. And just everything that could have gone wrong after the fact there for Northeastern did. That initial blitz, once again, very, very successful. Got the one elimination nice and quick, especially onto Wombat, who was carrying the operator. Could not quite convert after the fact. Couple more rounds here for Saints, and they'll definitely have this first one in the bag. Stralls is going to go point blank up here against Darm, and Darm's going to get the better of him this time by. JCN carrying spike in hands, going to notice what would end up being Sushi's bot, driving on by. And really taking their time, however, because all of the reinforcements for them are basically on the other side of the map. I don't know how they got themselves into this position. Yeah, everybody else sent it, and they are still here, looking to make the move. The distraction actually coming out here for Barbarieville was able to try and at least get their spike carrier out of there. Teleport coming on through. Going to end up using the ultimate, actually. Where are we teleporting? All the way to B site, it looks like. Which is going to make things actually really, really nice here for the side of Northeastern, because they are going to be able to get to site, get this thing planted long before the Saints can actually show up for reinforcing. And the first one they will end up running into is Gumb if he's not careful. Thinking about firing off a smoke, as the rest of the Saints are thinking they're maybe on the site itself. And they are going to absolutely catch Gumb. That should be the call necessary for the Saints to start moving. Jello up against JCN. They have the right idea, but they can't necessarily spot them. Gonna pop the Viper Pit as well. It's gonna force them to make their move. Northeastern into the Viper Pit. NATEX Trying to make the play, tries to get through. Jello finds the one. It's all up to JCN to somehow stop this defuse. A good angle, actually. Sprays and successfully finds the 4K Thrifty. Right as the spike was getting defused. Perfect timing there from JCN. Good on them to take the high ground. I thought they were going for a bit of a buddy system towards that B site. Initially, it kind of seemed like that's what they were doing. But eventually, JCN going up into the high ground. Meanwhile, Natex stayed down low, playing through the smoke. Enough of the distraction to get JCN into position, and the perfect position to be able to spray on the planted spike.
Shadows traveling.
You should run.
The attacker Killjoy going towards that ace site here. Last time this Killjoy ultimate came on through, the Saints just straight up blitzed it. You can tell they're definitely thinking twice this time. Arcaw trying to get themselves into a planting position, does manage to find the corner, but the rest of the Saints are right around the corner as well. Lots of shots fired from multiple angles here. Sushi up on the high ground, basically by themselves for the most part. Strauss is on the low ground. She ends up going down, actually, I believe, as JCN was able to get them down alongside Berberryville. Where do you even try to move? There's people everywhere in this instance. Definitely don't envy the Saints here. But after one, after another, after another, after another, Jello gets the last laugh and gets the defuse.
Here.
Okay, last time I saw an Odin, I thought I was getting trolled, but maybe, just maybe here, Wombat's cooking something. See how this goes. We're seeing the blitz attack. Actually, if they're all going to blitz into an Odin, this is going to be absolutely brutal here. Wombat open fire. Just going to be doing like this ticks amount of damage versus everybody. Sprays on through, finds one, and they're actually going to have to use the rocket to deal with it. Honestly, a respectable choice, all things considered. And that is going to allow, once again, for this spike to be planted on this A site nice and fast. Sushi rips open the pin on that nade and immediately is dinked for the trouble. 4 on 3 in the favor of Northeastern until this very moment where Jello evens up the odds. One more goes down. That'll be Gub falling.
Last player standing.
As one more falls as well, JCN does find the elimination. 1 on 3, spike down. Trolls trying to possibly think of going in to stop this from happening, but definitely the odds were not in their favor. Gonna run for the hills, as are the rest of this Northeastern squad. 11-9. Still in the Saints' favor, but Northeastern keeping Saints honest in this instance. I mean, we knew that this was going to be a close one. Timeout going to be coming out here from Gub and the rest of the Saints as well. Because the last time that these two teams did end up playing in the regular season, it was a 2-1 barely victory from what it sounds like, from what I was talking to Gub earlier. So we knew it was going to be a good one. While we have the timeout here, going to very, very quickly check on the other streams here. Looks like we do have a 1-1 series so far here for the Call of Duty side of things. And I believe the Saints did just drop their first game in regards to the Counter-Strike matchup. And of course, in about a half hour's time, the varsity teams start coming out to play. Saints Gaming CA will have Varsity Valorant. Meanwhile, Saints Gaming CA2 will have Varsity Call of Duty. Both of those matches could end up being NACE semifinal matches to see. Maybe they can play in grand finals this weekend. But back to the game at hand here, we have some pretty close to empty wallets here on the side of St. Clair, and I'm not talking about their skin purchases, but just taking a look at the weapon area they end up having here, because other than Strauss, who did save for that last round, not much else in terms of firepower really in the pockets of the Saints. But not about the size of the gun, it's where you're positioned. So we'll have to see if they can make this one happen. But again, kind of getting baited out here. Gub getting it taken down by JCN. And with all the Saints heavily cheating on over towards that A site, they left the B wide open. Left Natex plenty of time to get situated with mines and turrets and all that good jazz as well. So even though it is a 4-on-5, this is still really so tough. Wombat knives out, ready to try and make the dashing in play. Trying to make some room for the rest of the team. Jello's going to open the door from the far side. Rocket comes on through, not going to get anybody. Stunned up, but Barrierville does still manage to get the elimination. See if we can ride along with him. Gets a second one as well. Looks for the third. Can they find Jello? No, Jello's going to end up taking him down this time. Jello last alive here versus 2. Spots the 1, but it's not going to be enough as the spike explodes anyway. 10-11. Northeastern making the comeback here on the Saints as of right now anyway. Granted, now the Saints have a little bit of extra cash in the pocket, saving from that last round to try and maybe make the play this time by, but still not enough to really be that comfortable. If anything, is looking like sheriffs and shotguns and hope for the play. If this was the Northeastern side, I'd say they'd be blitzing, but if anything, Saints are on defense. It's kind of difficult to blitz on the defensive side of things, but we'll have to see if maybe the Saints could find out a cheeky pick or two. B site could possibly be the realm of attack, as that is going to be Arca with the spike in hand. It's thinking about going towards that way. And Gub is going to be the first one down once again. Barberryville just find them with the Vandal. Of course, that one-shot headshot. Definitely tough to deal with.
I've got your trail.
Ultimate going to be coming out from Archon as well as
Careful,
the rest
there's
of
another.
Northeastern. Dive on
Careful
through.
here.
The sewers are really pushed towards this A site. It is going to be a bit of a collision course here with Wombat, but all they have at this instance is a shotgun. You cannot take that long angle at this point. It's going to be up to Sushi from the high ground. Finds Darm, looks for the grenade, tries to line it up with where they've been planting basically this entire time. It will end up getting planted down. The nade was just a little bit short, so they're able to do it relatively safely. Going to be JCN going up against Wombat here in a second. I mean, this is the kind of battling position you'd probably want that shotgun in. Does find a little bit of chip damage, but not enough to really threaten them as of right now. This is so awkward, unfortunately, there for the Saints. They just don't have the range capabilities to take this fight. And the rest of Northeastern, one after another, are going to clean up the Saints, and we have a tie game. Classic Academy Valorant fashion, we have ourselves a back and forth close game. I swear it's been like this for 2 years, where every single time we get Academy Valorant on the stream, every game goes to like almost overtime. And usually always goes to game 3 as well. I tell you what, they always put on the show, at the very least. Okay, Barberryville's feeling themselves, going for the ultimate this time. Wombat going to be the first person to really get in the way of their play. Good shot there. Really even this one up 4-on-4.
Spike planted.
But running around the corner will be the Reyna, but no, Jello actually shuts them down. Nice shot there. Spike's planted once again, but the numbers advantage is in the Saints' favor. Wombat, nice shot, takes care of another one. Dives on through, looks for Natex, could not quite find them, however. It's going to be Arca going up against 2 of the Saints. Very, very awkward scenario. You had to pick one, and either way, it is not going to matter. And it's going to be the defuse coming on through here for St. Clair to take the lead and try and maybe make this game point.
Match point.
Top elimination so far in this round is going to be Jello, sitting there with 28 compared to the 20 for JCN, who's really come alive here on the attacking side of this game number 1. Those short to follow will be Sushi and Burberryville. So, hopping into what could possibly be the decider in game number 1. Gubs found themselves in a position where they've kind of gotten picked off extremely early. 2, maybe 3 rounds in a row. Just unlucky. JCM's been basically having their number of sorts, to say the least. Straw's in a pretty good position to go on to 3, but has to just watch out that they're not going to end up face-checking it in the end. Doggy, and then there is going to be Darm following up the doggy, and that is a fantastic play to open up that midsection. Still no committing as to which side they're going to end up going on through. Burberryville alongside Arca and the rest of Northeastern ready to make their move. Push through this high ground. Jello going to be the first line of contact. Gub, a little bit of a sharp angle here to try and keep themselves as safe as possible. Natex P, shots fired. That's not actually getting any damage done, though. The rest of Northeastern are now going to make their move. Jello finds one. Going to pop up with the acid as well to make this extremely difficult. Finds a second, and is going to do a ton of damage to the third because of that acid. It's up to Gub now here to try and be the gatekeeper of this one. What a flick, actually. Absolutely taking care of Natex pretty well immediately. 2-on-2. Spike is about to go on down, though, in this instance. Rest of the Saints running on through. From the high ground, we got Wombat. Trying to get it done. Sushi is there alongside. Find the one. Can they find the last player down low? Arca. From above, they know they're in the smoke. Gonna launch on through. They need to actually start worrying about this spike. And sure enough, Wombat will find them. This will be defused. And a very, very well-fought battle. But in game 1, St. Clair gonna take this 13-11. What we like to see here from the Saints. Fantastic showing. Jello breaking that 30 elimination mark in this game. Absolutely fantastic game for themselves. Both the brothers leading the kill feed here, 30 and 19. Then followed up by a bunch of the Northeastern squad, 18, 21, and 17. Of course, it's labeled by score, not by eliminations. So my order may be a little bit off there, but still a very hard-fought back-and-forth battle for game number 1. And now this puts us in a position where the Saints now have, they can take one more game here, because it's going to be their NACE Division Finals in their pockets. But of course, a little bit too early to count that one out. Last time these two played, it was a 2-1 game, or a 2-1 series. Went all the way to the end, very, very close fight. But while we do have the quick break here between rounds, we've got other streams happening at the exact same time that I gotta double check that they're A-okay before we get into the swing of things for this one. So hang tight for it's a very, very quick break while you get lobbied up, get the rest of the stream set to go, and we will be back with game number 2. All right, Saints Nation, are we ready to go here? Game number 2 in this NACE Varsity Plus East 1 Division final. St. Clair Academy up 1. Northeastern University trying to get back up here in this game number 2. Definitely a tall task at hand here for them, but as we head to Ascent, basically the map that everybody's played to death, we'll have to see what we have going on this time by. See if we see any changes, and we are absolutely seeing some changes. A little bit more controller heavy of sorts going into this one. Straw's going to be going onto the Sova, Jello onto the KO, Wombat onto the Killjoy. And honestly, with how Sushi was playing, definitely want to see them continue that duelist kind of style. Meanwhile, Sova going to come out to play here as well here for Arca. Natech's going to swap out the Killjoy to pick up the Deadlock instead and give Killjoy over to Darm instead of the Raze. And JCN and Gub both, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I suppose, keeping the Omens going into this one.
Here.
Before we get started on this one, of course, though, just one more quick update for anyone who is keeping track of the Saints Gaming Safe 5 stream. Unfortunately, after the Saints got their, or lost their first round, Counter-Strike updated. All the players didn't have to update their game, but the Observer had to. And now their server codes don't match, and now we can't actually observe the game. So unfortunately, the rest of that game will end up being played off of stream. But of course, we still have the 2 Academy games happening on CA3 and CA4. Varsity right around the corner on 1 and 2 starting at 8:30. So get the extra monitors out, or at least the extra tabs, because we're going to need them today. The blue side going to be defending to start this one off. Nobody really committing to our sides as of just yet. If anything, just slowly kind of leaning towards that A site there, where we do see Strawls able to get at least a little bit of vision onto a couple of the members of Northeastern. Wait for a possible collision course here between Darm and Jello. Jello not going to be able to jump on the gun, and Darm's going to make him pay for it. Taking down Jello extremely quickly here into this round. Strawls now going to spot them out, but a big smoke actually alongside the blockade going to be making things extremely difficult for the Saints to try and barrage on through. They might know where they are, but they can't get there as of this moment. But Sushi is blocking off the spike carrier here. Arca has to get the duel and will successfully win that duel. But the rest of the Saints have finally breached through the blockade, starting off with Gub and Strawls to move on forward here. Wombat is here as well. Strawls does end up going down. Gonna be up to Gub and up to Wombat. Try and make this happen. Some decent damage going on to a couple of the members here of this Northeastern squad. Gonna force the Deadlock to go plant as fast as possible. Granted, they had not much health left, so a very, very scary scenario. A little bit of a split attack possibility here. Wombat and Gub looking to make their move. When does it happen? We do see it, basically all the members of Northeastern in that low ground pit. JCN going to find the one. Now it's up to Gub, but going to take the exact same route. And that is going to be a 3K for JCN to start this one off. A lot of low health bars, but Saints could not convert. That is going to be Northeastern taking the first round.
Shadows traveling. clean.
Last player standing.
Streamer 101, make sure you're not muted. Okay. Whoopsie. Didn't want to give you his water bottle drinking ASMR, so muted and kind of forgot. So sorry that I wasn't necessarily there for that last one. Cheering from Strauss all the way from Brazil. Well, honestly, thank you for joining. That is absolutely fantastic to see. Happy you're here. Off the start, Barberryville looking to really move forward here in this mid zone. Just spotted out Gub firing off the smoke as well, so must have an eye on them at some point. We do see Natex pointing directly at him, so fair enough, Gub. Must have had the spidey senses going on there because opting to back on out, pick a bit of a longer range to go for that smoke instead. Which honestly, good on them. Had he stead, that probably would have been a dead one. Sees the barrel. Barberryville might be in trouble and is exactly going to get jumped on and sprays into the smoke as well, just in case of a refrag. Perfectly done there from Gub. That turret's being a nuisance, and Wombat is going to absolutely capitalize on it. So far, so good here for the St. Clair defense, as they're going to move on forward towards the same site. Jello is going to get breached on through, but it is going to be GoBud here for Sushi, who dives directly into the spike carrier. JCN moving towards the site. Strauss is there. Rest of the Saints are there. But they have a heck of an angle to try and get themselves through. Spots them out. It's time to go. Wombat immediately getting stunned up. Gonna not be long for this world.
Not ready yet.
Okay, Dart comes on through. Can Gub capitalize on the vision? I don't think anybody's really getting pinged out. Shots fired. Guess what? Looks for a second. Not gonna find them.
One enemy remaining.
Strauss versus 2. Finds nobody. Natex gonna seal the deal, and Northeastern, fantastic attacks so far here on Ascent. Over on the Saints Gaming CA4 side of things, it does look like our Academy Call of Duty squad fighting for their life in game number 4. Borderline able to take this one. Hard point 231 to 225. This one is going the distance. A day of incredible matches. Very, very thankful to have the squad behind myself to or alongside myself, not behind myself. What am I talking about? Thankful to have the squad to be able to get this much coverage. Towards the A site, we see quite the grouping from this Northeastern squad. Or maybe thinking about piling on in towards that A site, but once that smoke came down, they really did think twice about it. They do leave Darm here. Try and see if maybe anybody tries to rotate on in after them, but nobody will commit to that, at least not as of this moment. The only one there, Marshall in hand there, is going to be Sushi. Having maybe a hunch that they're right there, but no data to prove it as of this moment. That midsection, though, is basically completely unattended. Sushi is the only one anywhere nearby. Jeff now point blank here with one of the members that had he known. Tries to flick on over with the Arca. Not going to find it. The rest of Northeastern charging on through towards the A site once again. Shots fired from Jello. Not going to find their mark. Sushi with a Marshall in hand. These close range shots are not going to be very, very helpful for them. The rest of the Saints are rotating from the southern side. Weapon in hand right through the floor. Beautifully done there from Arca. Catches the Saints sleeping, and Darm from the southern side takes care of both of them by themselves. Everything that could possibly go right here for this Northeastern squad is just paying dividends. Jello is going to find one, but that turret again is just so dang distracting. 4-0 for Northeastern University. Sushi going to trade that Marshall in for the op and hopefully find a little bit of value of it this time by. It was very, very awkward that the Northeastern University squad was able to just rotate mid as freely as they were to then just come right back to A anyway. A little bit of a fakey kind of maneuver, something along those lines, but a little rough there for the Saints that time by, as we are going to see possibly a breach here. Natex immediately taking down Sushi. So much for your operator. It's gone. Berberryville finding one more as well. Wombat, though, going to make sure that the Saints don't get skunked on point. Finds one, finds a second. But now the 2-on-3 play, waiting on the rest of the Saints to rotate. Gub finding one through the bricks. Barely getting some damage done, but not quite enough. Berberryville does manage to get this plant on down. Gub and Jello moving on forward. These barriers definitely going to make things a little bit irritating, but not terrible. All three members of this Northeastern squad having a mosh pit of sorts here in the back rooms of the pit. Gub does end up going down, so it's all up to Jello. Finds one, finds a second! Could they manage to make the move? Arcaw's been spotted, but they're blowing so much time doing exactly what they need to do. Jello finds all three of them. The defuse coming on down. Does he get it in time? Successfully done so. Big play from Jello. And how about that? Looks like we got some more Strauss fans here in the Twitch chat. Absolutely love to see it. Thank you for joining us and supporting the squad. Very, very odd play coming out there, though, from Northeastern University to opt to have everybody just sandwich themselves inside the back rooms of Point B. Really did not leave them much wiggle room and didn't really give them much of a crossfire either, which just led them to trouble, as we were going to see actually on the other side. Knives are flying everywhere, but Berberryville finally going to end up going down. A quick 2-for-1 going into this one. Atex once again getting on the site pretty cleanly. And you can see this time by Northeastern not going to mess around with their post-plant positioning. Spread out crossfires all over the place. Much more devastating and deadly to try to deal with. Smoke's going to make things awkward, but oh man, another smoke just made it so Sushi couldn't see nothing. Dives on up to just try and get out of dodge. Rotating on over. Gonna actually maybe opt to save. Look for picks instead. Arcaw is right there.
Last player standing.
Gonna find the one, but they know that they have the operator and they want to hunt them down. There's two of them chasing. Does find one, looks for the shotgun play as well. Honestly, that was a fantastic attempt there from Sushi, but an even better job there from Northeastern and Darm to find a 3K and get another round on the board and rob the Saints of keeping that operator. Timeout coming on through here for St. Clair. I'm sure losing the operator, especially in particular, definitely hurts their plans moving on forward. Of course, big thank you to everybody for tuning in here and supporting the Academy Valorant squad. I don't know what it is about Academy Valorant, but they always tend to put on a good show. That's why even though it is 5-1 right now, I am not worried in the slightest. I am either on the strongest copium known to man, or I just have that much faith here in our Academy Valorant squad that they're going to somehow manage to bring this one to overtime, even though they may have themselves a couple of opportunities to just finish it in regulation. But love them for it. They definitely put on a show, like I was saying before. We did hit that 8:30 mark, of course, as well, which means our varsity matchups should be getting started on the Saints Gaming CA and Saints Gaming CA2 channel. That's going to be Valorant and Call of Duty, respectively, those being semi-final matchups. But, of course, definitely urge you to stick around here with either a monitor or a tab or what have you. These division finals are still just heating up. Strauss might end up being the first line of defense here this time by Varsity, and the rest of Northeastern looking to try and make a move. That shrapnel nade is going to make things just so irritating, though. Varsity dives on through directly into their own smoke, try and get the cover necessary to move on through and find Sushi trying to get sneaky. Not this time. Going to take a bunch of damage. Actually going to use the updraft to keep themselves safe from that shrapnel nade. Nice play there to reduce the amount of damage done. Darm is going to be able to get this thing planted. The rest of the Saints, though, are right there. Wombat is going to be taken down. And with all the Saints kind of funneling in here, it is just a matter of time. That is going to be one player scooped up as well. There is no chance with all the rest of the Saints falling. That is a blue screen of death that we're not used to seeing here around the Nexus. That is a spider web of death here. And that is going to be another round going on over towards Northeastern University. That was definitely a frustrating one there for Sushi in particular. Popped their ultimate, looked for the updraft to try and get a bunch of shots. But Blueberryville just had a read on that pretty well immediately. Caught them jumping and just able to snipe them out of the sky. Beautifully done as we see Jello immediately going to be fragged through the wall as the 5 players of Northeastern look to make the play. Sushi point blank here with a lot of these members. The drone going to call it out, and sure enough, they got to run. That is going to be scooped up and fairly irritated for the time being. But again, this now leaves B-site wide open for the side of Northeastern going through. These barricades are going to make these retakes just so irritating as well. Takes so many bullets to just get through the dang things that by the time you actually really get to move on, everybody else is all set up. Wombat with the right idea, though. 2 killjoys coming on through, but this means that the Sova ultimate very well might come on through as well. But Arcad does end up going down, so the Saints are going to end up getting the better of this. There is just so much damage coming on through here. Darm, JCN, all finding their marks. Only the one killjoy getting detained. But it does not matter when there's 3. And St. Clair going to lose that one once again. Northeastern doing a fantastic job on the attack here on Ascent. Can I joke around? This is definitely a map that everybody's played to death, so there isn't necessarily a lot of trickery that happens on in this one. But just Northeastern looking so solid right now. The one rounds that the Saints did get where I think it was Jello got the incredible 1-on-3 clutch was because they made a little bit of an oopsie all going into the one corridor trying to hold the same angle while the spike was down, but they've been essentially flawless ever since, as we're going to see Gub fall once again here on this A side of everybody else in the ATAC to get the spike planted before the rest of the Saints are even there. Once again, those deadlock barriers just making things so irritating for the Saints to try and deal with. Strauss basically notices everybody as like, yeah, they're all in post-plant positions, so we've got to somehow breach this one way or another. Wombat immediately, upon exposing themselves, getting stunned up. Gonna try and get some damage done to Sushi. Does manage to find 2, but so does the squad of Northeastern finding 2. Sushi does end up getting tagged a lot of damage. Only 8, and yeah, as soon as you dive on in, directly into a shrapnel nade. You go left, you're getting shot. You go right, you're going into the nade. Nothing you can do there for Sushi. Granted, they got the double, so solid job in that regard. But as you can see, this half is going miserably here for St. Clair. Northeastern just on an absolute roll. And Darm really showing up to play here in this second game, already finding themselves 11 eliminations in these 9 rounds that have passed. And only 4 deaths, so they've come to play here as we do see the Saints actually kind of piled in towards this midsection. Maybe opting for a bit of an aggressive kind of style. 1-for-1 trade. Sushi finds a shot, not going to quite get any damage, however. Updrafts onto the top here. Looks for the angle. That is going to be Jello. Does manage to back up their brother. Does end up falling, though. Sushi gets the nade, tries to get out of dodge. Will be successful at doing so. Will live to fight another day. Oh, that nade, though. Or that arrow, rather. Arkoff. Fantastic play.
Shadows traveling.
Flushes out Sushi, which means it's now just a 3-on-2, and just a matter of which site do you want to go through. Omen ult's coming out here from Gub, but granted they kind of went into the middle of the doorway. That actually could have been bad, but Gub finds Darm and takes them down, but after teleporting, they've actually all gone towards the A site. They're going to get this thing planted up before the Saints know what on earth is actually happening.
Planted.
Gub may be kicking themselves for the teleport, maybe not though. It could all be calculated if they manage to pull this one off. But with these positions, we do see JCN and Arcop in position to do so, especially now that JCN found one. Such a tough position here.
Last player standing.
I mean, Gub found the one. It is all up to JCN now to either make the defense, or can Gub manage to get the defuse? That Spike's ticking, looks for the fake. JCN not going to fully expose though. Again, just these little hop checks, and that will be enough for Gub to end up falling. Fantastic shots once again coming out here from JCN. Of course, in a worst case scenario here, the Saints do have another game. You definitely don't want to make it go to another game if you don't have to, however. But we may also see maybe a flip of tide here, and once we switch on sides.
I am everywhere. Shadows traveling.
Couple rifles, couple shotguns here for the Saints this time by including Wombat, who's up close and personal. We do see Darm right around the corner. Rifle in hand.
Turret's destroyed.
Oh, trying to sniff them out. If they only knew what we knew. Yeah, in room E. Or room E.
My territory, my rules.
Of course, COD should be getting underway in just a moment's time as well, as we do see Sushi and Gub charging on through. Big eliminations all over the place, but it is going to be in the Saints' favor as of this moment. 3-on-2.
Spike planted.
Wombat will end up falling. They're trying to wait for Gub to get into position with all those straws. They want to try and take a bit of a split play. And a huge knife actually coming out from Burberryville. Big shot from Gub, but the knife again. Burberryville shutting down the hopes and dreams of the Saints in that round. Big 3K with the ultimate. Last round here for the Saints on the defending side. Definitely had a rough round. Would love to get one more in the pocket here. I'm not gonna lie, as of right now, Northeastern kind of running away with this one, looking extremely good. If we're gonna see the Hunter's Fury coming out here from Arkoff. Just gonna whip it out immediately. Nate Tex as well alongside Burberryville, finding a first elimination onto Sushi. Granted, the Saints are ready. There are 2 on site if they decide to go towards this B site. Light opted against it to swing to the other, where we do end up having Jello and Gub waiting for them. Taking their time. Burberryville first up in the high grounds there, waiting for the rest to come on through. A little bit of a 1-for-1 actually. The 2 players actually traded each other out, but now Darm from the far side gonna put a little bit of a thorn into the side of the Saints. Wombat, though, takes care of Berberryville. It's going to be in a collision course with one. Finds a second one as well. Huge spray and pray. Not even spray and pray. Fantastic positioning, rather, to finish the job. Arca versus Wombat. It's going to be Arca. Has the spike in hand. Where is Jello? Right around the corner. Spike comes down just in time. Arca from behind the boxes. Not going to be able to take care of it. Jello going to be able to secure this one. Incredible play there from Wombat to get the 1-on-3. Make that assault rifle work for him. And now it's at least 2 points on the board here from what was a very, very rough defending side.
Switching sides.
Does seem like all the games are just about to get started across the Nexus. So I do apologize for being quiet there, here and there, trying to monitor all the matches happening in the Nexus at the same time. Definitely a tough task, but I'm extremely happy that I even have the opportunity to be able to get this much playoff game coverage for you all. Bit of a collision course here, Jello, and then right along the other side, Berberryville. Right there, waiting and ready to go. Down on the other side, Gub's going to be able to spot out of Natex. And Jello does manage to actually find Berberryville, so good elimination to start things off here. Saint's going to rotate on over, looking like B site is on the menu. On that site, however, is going to be Darm, who's been doing a fantastic job so far in this game number 2. Really been showing up, to say the least.
Here.
Oh, if they only knew what we knew, it would be absolutely devastating. As we are going to see Natex catch the one straggler there from the Saints, as Jello was the last one to go on through. It is going to now be Sushi diving on through. Looks for the one. Does manage to catch Darm off to the side. Gets kind of stuck up, however, directly in range of Natex. But we do see Gub one-on-one with Natex and somebody else on top. No, Natex is up on the high ground, actually, it looks like. Battle back and forth, and what a pistol round. Barely pulling it off will be Gub. Back and forth, the Saints have battled alongside Northeastern. But they catch themselves a W to start this attacking round off right. Like I was saying before, if I know my Academy Valorant squad, they're going to find this at like 10-10 or 11-11 at some point before this game ends. Again, either too much hopium or too much copium or what, but I don't know what it is about this squad. They are very, very prone to getting close to overtimes or going into overtimes. And another fantastic shot all the way from down south is going to be Gub on the Guardian. Taking care of Natex extremely early in that round. The JCN off to the east and alongside Berberryville within close range. Basically, everything seems covered as of this moment. Where the Saints opts to end up going here. Strauss with the spike in hand. Going to get the refrag here. Gub will go down, but at least gets traded out pretty well immediately. This is going to alert Berberryville, though. The rest of the Saints are on the way. Sushi collision course, and Berberryville with that shotgun is going to absolutely make money out of it. But Strauss, though, immediate refrag. And Arca up into the high ground. Immediately going to walk in to range of Jello. Knocked down. It's all up to Darm now to make this play happen. Does find the one. Looks for the second as well. Lots of shots fired, but Strauss with the pistol. Gonna secure this one. A very, very close timing there for Saints to pull that one off. That was actually very, very scary. Strauss at one point was getting dove on top of him while he had himself working the drone. Of course, you can't shoot like that, so that could have been troublesome. but it works out in the end. Those sheriff shots. I mean, these players make it look easy, but it dang well ain't. Saints not going to opt for any new firepower, just going to have or stick to what they have in this instance so that they all can buy up together at a later round, which works out for some. I believe 2 of them did have at least either an SMG or a Guardian at this point here, as we just see Strolls here with the Guardian. Maybe content if this round doesn't necessarily go their way. Just knowing the fact that they'll be able to rebuy some heavier artillery when the time comes. Flash onto JCN as there are Saints members right around the corner. They move in too quick though. They're going to run directly into Barbarianfield's shotgun. Getting extremely close actually. Tense moment here. The swing, and that is going to be Barbarianfield with 1. Looks for a second, but refragged by Jello with the Sheriff. Sheriff beats shotgun. Who would have thought in that instance? Jello again picks up the shotgun actually. Spray into the smoke, maybe see if he can interfere with some of the members of Northeastern. Gubb gets onto site. Does get knocked down pretty well immediately, and with the spike falling just to the southern side of the A site, it is going to be all up to Wombat to try and do as much damage as possible. The Sheriff alone. Just to go through the wall, but it's not going to be effective this time by. Ends up getting through the wall, but could not get through our car. Gotta get shut down there. Rocking the LMG as well.
You're all more important than words on the brief. Look out for each other.
So Northeastern stopped the bleeding before it became too big of a cut to deal with, but now the Saints are going to be able to come online with full firepower. It looks like assault rifles across the board. There's still enough there for Gubb to get one as well. Basically has to use everything in the bank in order to get it though, so very calculated, but they really need to make this one last, because God forbid if this round does not go in their favor, they do not have much saved to try and get themselves back into this one. Barbarianfield versus Gubb down on this eastern side. Took a lot of damage and he's basically trapped. Yeah, just gonna get scooped up pretty well immediately, and it leaves the door open for them to go after Sushi. Gubb gonna fire off the smoke, actually sprays on through, could not quite get the damage done. Gets past the barrier, but that barrier is going to make it so awkward to try and actually traverse. Some other Saints are here. Straw's going to be trying to take their shots at the barrier to at least let their players all move freely. You can see just how dang long it takes to actually get through this thing. Big play there from Wombat, though. Finds one, finds a second. It's really opening the door here for the Saints to go on through. Jello from the western side as well. Going to be able to get one more. A 2-on-4 in the Saints' favor. JCN going to get taken down, all up to Darm to get the job done. From the high ground, does not matter. It's going to be Gubb to seal the deal. Get the plant bonus on top of that. The Saints waited to buy up together, and it's going to pay off, as not very many of them actually lost their weapons this time by only losing the 1 player. So now, sitting pretty with a little bit of money in hand in case something goes wrong. That being said, they don't have that much room for mistakes. They only have the 2 rounds. Off we go into this next one here. Arkall's actually opting for the Odin play to see if maybe the Saints opted to go towards the B site immediately, and you know would just absolutely let loose on that wall, as we do see. It's an expensive play to make, but it can be very effective. How did Sushi manage to find those shots right through the smoke like it's nobody's business? Gonna be able to get that one. Arkall right around the corner, directly into Sushi as well. Everything's going in the Saints' favor right now. Darm, the last one alive. Gonna be Strolls making their way all the way over to that A site. Get this thing planted, and you can tell Darm does not know what the heck to actually do in this instance. Gonna slowly but surely finally make their way over to this A site, because they cannot breathe easy here with only 30 HP. Depending on the gun they have, let's cheat for a minute and see. Gonna hang on to the Odin. might just sit back and hang on to the Odin, which honestly, fair enough if I do say so myself. Nobody from the Saints are going to be opting to get out of dodge this time. Or not get out of dodge, but go hunt after the players this time by. So we get a nice cinematic of getting blown up. Saints bring this back to 6-11. Still a long ways to go. But you gotta start somewhere. And right now they're doing a fantastic job on this attacking side. Which is pretty crazy to me. I never would have thought of this map as a attacker-sided one. But maybe there's a reason I'm behind this commentary desk and not a competitor's desk.
Blinding.
It's going to be taking its time. Nobody picked up the spike or anything just yet. We do see JCN alongside Berberryville. Sites. Sushi and a couple of the Saints maybe looking to try and get through. Some shots through the walls actually making things a little bit uncomfortable here for Sushi and the Saints. Wombat alongside Jello looking to try and maybe make an entrance here towards B. Make it seem like the spike is here. Maybe try to bait some rotates. Jello does end up finding one in the end. Berberryville kind of pinned down a little bit, gonna try and use the smoke to their advantage to get away. Picks up the Odin as well, fires on through. Is that finding any value, however? Maybe a little bit onto Jello, who's currently sitting at about 27 HP. The rest of the Saints looking to actually join up with Sushi. Sushi and Jello to maybe make a push towards this B site, but we do worry if they funnel on in. Berberryville could have themselves an absolute
30
field
seconds
day,
left.
melting down the opponents, but in fact they have been suppressed for a moment. It's going to make things a little bit awkward. Wombat finding another one on top of all this is just going to make things even that much more irritating here for the side of Northeastern. Sushi does end up finding the one, and as we can see here, the just absolute
10 seconds
fantastic
left.
breach coming on through from the Saints. Going to be allowing for them to get into their post-plant positions pretty well nicely. 5 HP in a dream. Doesn't matter when you just need one, but Darm is going to be able to secure it that time by. Sushi looking to chase.
Here.
Not quite going to get him. I'm going to run for the hills. I don't think they ended up picking up the Odin. I'm trying to see. No, they just have a Sheriff. So the Odin does end up being lost here for Northeastern. So it's actually like rather valuable here against Northeastern.
I survived obliteration. I will survive them.
Yet they immediately buy another one. So okay, they must really like their Odins. My goodness. Going to try and get that thing set up once again towards the B site. Arca in position to make that happen. A couple of the Saints hovering towards that B site to start things off. Basically the same kind of setup as the last time.
Right here.
Immediately fires on through, and actually Wombat is going to give them a taste of their own medicine. How about that? I like that play. I think I'll do it myself and do you one better. Absolutely love to see it. Wombat versus Darmir, possible collision course. But at the same time, the rest of the Saints on the other side there, we do see Strolls and Gub looking to try and maybe make their way towards this ace site in just a couple of moments' time. Gonna be kind of stopped here, though, by this blockade coming out here from Natex.
No
I see
escape.
that all the Saints committing to taking care of the barricade, going to allow for the rest of Northeastern University to try and make their way onto this site. Hunter's Fury just made that so awkward, though, for Northeastern. It is going to be all up to JC and Sushi in hot pursuit to try and take them down. Successful at doing so. Another one on the board here for St. Clair, 8-11. Timeout coming out here from the defensive side once again. Don't know what it is about these teams here on Ascent, but defense just does not seem to be a comfortable position for any of them. Of course, while we have the timeouts here, I just want to give a big thank you again to everybody for tuning in to the Saints Gaming CA3 stream and supporting your Academy Valorant squad, or on Saints Gaming CA4 as well, supporting the Academy Call of Duty squad, just supporting the program as a whole as we have all of these broadcasts happening of all these playoff games. The Saints definitely had a hell of a season to have made it this far already, and the fact that you all are tuning in and supporting is just absolutely blessed. So thank you all. I guess I can understand where the timeout was coming from here. If you're on the side of Northeastern, you're at that awkward spot where you probably could buy up if you really, really wanted to, but you'd have nothing left in the tank if something went wrong. So fair enough, get the timeout, make sure you're all on the same page, discuss the play that you want to do. How many times in your ranked games have you wanted to end up saving, and then your teammate just buys a Vandal for themselves, runs in and dies? Well, why weren't you all with me? Been there. Getting a couple towards this A site. Sushi actually got into a pretty rough position. Darm's going to absolutely make them pay for it. And Barbarieville as well, with the knives in hand, really shredded down that entire B push. But with so many players on that B push, in theory this does allow for Strauss and Gub to make their way on over to an uncontested point if they continue to push on forward. There is only JCN around the corner. And even then, still not 100% confident as to exactly where the Saints could end up coming from. Waiting for their teammates. Only leaving Darm all the way on the other side. Checking the high ground, does manage to spot somebody crossing, so they must know the reinforcements are here. They've arrived. Can they get the spike down? They have a little bit of time. They don't have to necessarily do it, but they're going to get it done anyway. Put the timer here onto the rest of Northeastern University. Teleport. Is it going to get canceled, actually? Gets one. Looks for a second. Gub is almost going mad. He manages to get a double, but Arca goes even crazier, finding the triple, and this is going to end up being defused in the end. Exactly the kind of round that Northeastern University was looking for. Threatens match point now.
Match point.
Here in game number 2. And especially after getting the win, sure, they may have lost a couple, but still, everybody else living and finding those eliminations, definitely making up for it in the pocketbooks. So as you can see, like, sure, a couple of them are only in the hundreds, but meanwhile, Natex, Arca, Darm, thousands in the pocket. Saints sitting pretty right now as well, but they need to use everything. They have no more time. They need flawless Valorant from here on out. Definitely in the pressure cooker of sorts here on this attacking round, and the rest of these attacking rounds for the rest of this game, unless they can somehow break overtime. Wombat, Odin at hands, are not opting to fire until getting a confirmation that somebody's really there. Until you do see the barrier come out from the deadlock. Sushi. Knives are live. Rifle as well for a little bit of backup if they don't think they can end up making something happen with the knives. A lot of him and hawing around this midsection here. First one into contact will end up being JCN. Gub is right around the corner as well if they want to try and put a flank, but that smoke is going to make it much more difficult here for Gub to make the play. Sushi going to try and dive on through all the way up to the high ground. Hunter's Fury coming out from cross map, it looks like. Collision Course does manage to find one. Smoke comes up, but it's going to be taken care of by Darm. In the meantime, the Saints were able to get the spike down. On the other side, Gub is there as well. Possible collision course here with Burberryville. And on the point itself, only the one defender Killjoy actually got any value. Burberryville finds them. 3 on 3. Saints have this thing planted, but can they manage to defend it? Wombat, though, this Odin is coming in clutch here. Had to end up reloading or something. Shots fired. No, JCN couldn't get the job, or JCN got the job done, rather. The Saints could not quite finish the job. Shots were fired, but the gunplay too strong coming out here from Northeastern University. And just like that, we have ourselves a Game 3 coming around the corner in just a moment's time. Oh man, we knew this was going to be an absolute fantastic series. Of course, it was 2-1 last time by. Looking like it's going to be another 2-1 once again, but will it be Saints' favor this time for the finals victory? That is going to be the question at hand. Where do we go for game number 3? To tell you what, defensively there for St. Clair, that one hurt a little bit, to say the least. We'll have to see how they do with the next one coming up, but of course we are going to be lobbying up for game number 3 in just a couple moments time. I'm going to throw this to a very, very quick break once again. If you have the other tabs open of the other Saints matches, make sure to say hi and see what's happening on in there. We have Valorant, COD, and another COD game for Academy, all happening at the same time. So we'll be right back here on Saints Gaming CA3 for the next Academy Valorant match. There's still plenty of action right around the corner. All right, Saints Nation. One more time, one way or another here. We are crowning a champion here in this East 1 Division Finals matchup between St. Clair Academy and Northeastern University. We're getting in the swing of things right here onto Sunset to finish the job. Of course, to reintroduce the squads this time by, we've got Sushi, Stralls, Gub, Jello, and Wombat for St. Clair Academy. Meanwhile, Northeastern University, we've got Arca, Berberryville, JCN, Darm, and E-Tech. Of course, this is, like I was saying, time and time again here, but it's just that crazy that we're able to do this. This is one of what we had 5 streams going on at the same time at one point here today. Counter-Strike still in progress, but unfortunately had some technical difficulties and knocking us out of this one. But right now, on Saints Gaming CA4, our Academy Call of Duty squad also in the same position, a game away from finding themselves an East 1 Division Championship. And on Saints Gaming CA1 and 2 also in semifinals action to see if we get on the main stage for grand finals this weekend. I piss around to start things off as per usual, but this time, again, Saints going to be starting on the defensive side, and I hope for the sake of Sunset and for the sake of the team that defensively they're stronger here than they were on Ascent, because that put them in such a hole in game number 2 that Northeastern was able to exploit that so bad. Made it extremely, extremely tough for the Saints to come back, considering it was 10-1 at one point. I don't care how good your offense is, if you put yourself in a position where you have to play basically flawless, you don't leave yourself much room for any sort of wiggle room at all. Sushi possible collision course here with a couple members on the side of Northeastern, Arca and JCN right around the corner. Next one up would be Jello, stunned, ready, and waiting. Actually, Sushi's going to end up getting stunned out. It's going to allow for Berberryville to charge on through, but actually a good little counterattack here coming out from Jello to stun off. Shots fired from Sushi. Not going to find their target this time. But even still, Sushi in position. Looks for the one, could not quite find him. Berberryville. Right there, Sushi looking to charge on in. Definitely thinks twice upon seeing 3 members of Northeastern right there.
30 seconds left.
While Sushi covers the one, Jello covers the other. Meanwhile, the rest of Northeastern just starting the beeline all the way to the other side where Stralls and Gub are waiting. Gub's going to spot out Natex. Just a little bit of damage done, but the rest of the Saints charging on forward. This is going to happen very, very quickly. JCN versus Gub. Gub going to end up going down. Wombat finds 2, however. Now on site, Stralls comes in clutch. Looks for Darb, looks for the other, and the Saints absolutely clean up here on the pistol round.
Don't get stabbed.
Northeastern went for a very, very gutsy blitz play the other way, but the Saints were able to keep it in control. Big part to the double coming out there from Stralls there in that round. Everybody on the Northeastern side is going to keep it cheap. Not opt to push like we've seen in the last couple of games. Berberryville point blank basically here with Sushi immediately running into the breach charge as well. That's going to make things extremely difficult. Shots fired here from Jello. Looks for one, looks for another. Berberryville shotgun. Going to find the better of them, however. Good spraying come through from Sushi, doing a decent chunk of damage, but with Darm finding one, Gub finding another, actually. 3-on-3. This plant is going to go
Spike
through
planted.
successfully, however. GCN from the back. Sushi from the front here does take care of Darm. 2-on-3. Arcot going to probably be the first one in some points here, as it's going to be JCN kind of stuck in the smoke. Point blank with one of them. Looks for the turn and burn. Finds two. But where is Strauss? Through the smoke they go. They find each other. And thankfully for Strauss, able to make the play with the SMG and get this defuse. Pick up the gun too, why don't ya?
This is no problem.
No problem indeed. Able to save the gun on top of all that. Getting the defuse with literally 10 HP. A job well done.
I need this.
Throw that rifle on over to Sushi, it looks like. And what are the rest of Saints going to opt to do here? Yeah, probably push if they really wanted to. Maybe thinking about halfsies. I did see the SMG kind of coming out for a second, but definitely second guessing themselves. Meanwhile, the side of Northeastern University, assault rifles all in hand. They're not saving nothing. They're going for broke this time by. One thing that I do notice, though, is our timer is not ticking down in the slightest. Tech pause on the side of Northeastern University, it looks like. So, quick pause in the action, I suppose, to get that all situated. Absolutely happens. Taking a look at Saints Gaming CA4 in the meantime. Call of Duty Academy squad, 2-2 in this map. They can manage to win this one. They do actually find themselves your East 1 Division champions. So at this point, they are on a control map, as it would look like. With Saints on the attacking side, basically even in regards to lives. Don't have any of the capture points controlled, however, which is going to make things a little bit awkward. You have at least the one tick on each.
There.
A couple of things do end up going their
There.
way. Are we back
There.
underway? No, not quite yet. Of course, may not necessarily be able to see it on stream and whatnot, but I do have some extra monitors up on the side, trying to keep track of all the Saints action here happening today in the Nexus. So many playoff games. Definitely want to make sure we're in the loop here. What's going on? Want to see the rest of that as the Saints actually do start really getting some good eliminations on in there. Might be the finals winning move if I get the opportunity to see the finish. I'll let you know how that goes. Although one person who's going to be busy, if I'm thinking correctly, would end up being Strauss, but pops their gadget down immediately
Camera taken
and gets
out.
back safely, while Gub is able to take care of Bavaryville extremely quickly, who was looking to just dive on in. Gub once again going to find one, but this time pistol for assault rifle. Darm's going to make it pay for that one. Sushi, decent position, chunked them by half. Able to get a dodge, though, taking much damage. Strauss, though, from the other way, has the angle. Sushi finds one as well. A cool little crossfire they got going here. Strauss does end up falling, however.
B.
Wombat in a good position to try and get onto Darm as well. And the team ace coming on through. This time, Saints defense are looking on point. Absolutely their heartbreaker for the COD squad. This one's going to a Game 7. What is it with Academy teams and having absolute back and forth banger matches? Definitely criminal that we're only kind of catching them now. Big play here from Strolls. Almost found the double, but does end up getting taken down. Pistol could not come out in time. Shots from Wombat aren't going to hit its mark this time. But Gub with the flank is going to absolutely shred. Fantastic 3K. Fantastic positioning. And a fantastic 4-0 lead here for St. Clair.
Here. Here.
Man, the Saints are absolutely rich going into these next couple of rounds. They are in a very, very fantastic position, similar to what we saw happen with Northeastern University in the last game, where they were just able to snowball that lead so hard to the point where when halftime happened, it did not matter. Maybe the Saints could find themselves in a position to do the same thing to them and find themselves in an East 1 Division Championship. Wombat collision course possibly here at Barbariaville. Gets out of dodge before Darm's reach can get in the way. Shots fired. Big peek rather coming out here from Wombat, taking care of Darm pretty well instantaneously. Big utility playmaker taken off the board in this one, while Barbariaville looking to try and just make the play themselves by just sending it into the point. Pairs up with the Cypher, and Atex is there for some additional assistance. Barbariaville through the smoke. Oh, we're going to have ourselves a bloodbath in just a moment's time. Barbariaville finds a bunch, but Wombat finds more. It is all now down to JCN, who is just up against Gub, and the rest of the reinforcements are swinging at the same time. Who's going to end up taking them in the end? It does not matter as long as it happens. Spike may be down, but so is the defuse, and the Saints aren't letting this one go. So far, so good here for the Saints, and Gub leading the charge here with 11. Oh my. It's been a long day. What can I say? And then League of Legends beat me up, I guess, yesterday as well with that fat match going to Game 3. But Gub leading the charge here with 7 eliminations. Plenty of money in the bank. Assault rifles across the board here for the Saints. Almost full ultimates as well. Only Jello left to grab their ult, but to be fair, the Breach one does take a long time to actually charge, so fair enough. Berryville looking to get aggressive, but I believe they only have the shotgun, so even at this range, they would not really be able to get much value for what they're trying to do. Cypher on Cypher action here towards the B site. Just a little bit of chip damage, but nothing too crazy as of this moment. And Neon versus Neon action towards the A site here in a second, but the rest of the Northeastern squad are also here at this A site, and it looks like the Cypher is debating on making a move, or
Off your feet!
trying to read, see what they're going to end up doing. They're actually going to fire off the Breach ultimate and charge on through. It is not working for them in the slightest. Sushi and the rest of the Saints just mowed down the first 2 members that came on through. Sushi and Gub right there for the refiring possibility. They're going to keep trying for this A site. Spike in hand here for JCN. But yeah, they have absolutely no engage, so they're kind of relying on their playmakers and the Sentinels to actually make the play. Not optimal in the slightest considering how things have done. That being said, though, they were just able to walk on in. But is it all a trap in the end? It very well may be, as we do see multiple members going down. Jello does find one as well. Sushi dives on in, giving a little zappy zap, but not enough to actually get to the last one. But JCN is going to just end up walking from one side to the other, finds Jello. Jello going to take care of them, and Gub's going to get this defuse. We have ourselves a 6-0 lead here for St. Clair Academy. Northeastern definitely have themselves a bit of an express pass on the pain train right now because they are going to buy up, but they have nothing left in the tank if this round goes south. Rather than going south, they're going to go east towards that A site, at least off the start. Sushi is there alongside Wombat. Both players having a fantastic start to this game. Number 3, Sushi, collision course, intimate. Gonna end up getting stunned out. Hot pursuit coming out here from Bavaryville. Pops the ultimate, looking for Sushi, but can they find them? No. Sushi's run all the way back to their teammates up on the northern side, so they do manage to stay safe. This plant will probably come on through, but at least the Saints are all healthy in this instance. Of course, Northeastern not necessarily afraid to use those blitz attacks, but at least for the St. Clair side, they did not lose anybody off the first initial push, so they can try to deathball this or try to spread out. We'll have to see momentarily. Either way, this is going to be absolutely ridiculous to try and catch all the action of. See Sushi ultimate right around the corner, dives on through, looks for some shots, does manage, stunned or not, does not matter, does still get to get some eliminations in the pocket. He has Strauss along the side, does manage to get one as well. Where are the rest of them? Strauss does end up going down, but does not matter. Gub is on point. Where in the world is Natex? Natex does go down. Jello on the breach, gonna finish the job as well. In the 5-on-5, the Saints are king. And that one hurt. That one really hurt for Northeastern. Granted, there was a lot of eliminations in that one, so they at least got a lot of kill money. But not enough to give everybody rifles, I don't think. Or if it does, it'll be another instance again where there's nothing left in the tank. Basically all rifles except for Bavaryville, which to be fair, if you're on a Neon, you could probably get away with a shotgun in most instances since you're so dang quick. But still a scary position to kind of rely on. Bavaryville moving on forward. Sushi spotted once again. Exact same kind of idea. Gets stunned out, but still is able to just get out of dodge without taking a lick of damage. Another breach towards this A site, but this time Wombat getting taken off the board extremely quickly. He's going to make things a little bit difficult. Hunter's Fury going to try and block up the pathway here from Sushi, who is going to be able to still get out safely. Pops the ultimate. Laser pointer coming on through. Immediately finds Bavaryville, who does have that shotgun, and finds maximum value for it. Gub finds one, looks for Jello. Jello does end up going down. Here comes Strauss, ends up getting picked off as well. This one looking much better here for Northeastern. Granted, they had to blow a little bit more in regards to ultimates, but they were able to get themselves on the board here and stop the bleeding from what was 7 rounds in a row of losses. Saints may have lost that one, however,
Cover going out.
fully loaded, ready to go. You can't keep taking too many rounds like that, however, because then it'll be all evened up in no time. Maybe after winning the A site, maybe it's time to switch it up. We do see Gub as well as Strauss on this B site, trying to make defense, but that one definitely knocked them for a loop here. It's going to allow for Bavaryville to move on forward. Strauss in a very, very awkward position between like 3 members. Darm versus Gub spots them, but left at 5 HP. Strauss on the other side finds one. What an awkward turn of events here as there's 2 Saints on the other side, but the reinforcements have arrived from the other angles. And they just immediately evaporate them to the point where I couldn't even find the right person to click in time. Big retake coming out here from St. Clair. And way to hold your ground, Strauss and Gub.
Thank you.
That is definitely one of those moments where you just can absolutely get overwhelmed and cave. Kind of like my observing skills on that B site. But props to Gub, props to Straws.
It
They did
begins.
not give into that kind of pressure. And forcing yet another save coming out of Northeastern.
Cover going up.
B-site looking like the play once again. Gub gonna retreat back to site. Dives up through. Oh my god! Good night, Berryville. Big play from Gub to be able to shut that down. Gonna still be in a collision course here with a couple other members. That drone's not gonna be long for this world. And all info in the pocket of the Saints, but some good gunshots coming on through here from the side of Northeastern University, but the reinforcements from St. Clair have arrived. JCN in the smoke, not gonna be long for this world if they just end up staying there.
I'll find you.
Combat on the fade right there, trying to get themselves on the
enemy
site as
remaining.
well. Jello finds one, Sushi finds the other. The brotherly tag team duo finishing this one up. 9-1 now. This is deja vu, but the other way it would seem. Saints are really starting to run away with this one. Still with 2 more rounds here on the defensive side as well. Sunset just seems to be the way to go here for this Academy Valorant squad. Northeastern not giving up, however, even though they've been taking these losses, the trades have been decent enough that they're still able to at least be equal on firepower, just maybe not so much on the sense of utility and armor. Sushi, big flank to get things started off here. Jello looking for another, not quite going to find it. We do still have some good shots coming out here from Darm.
I know exactly.
Takes a few of them. That's going to be the ulti coming out here from the side of Northeastern as well. It's going to force Sushi to try and run away. Considering their position was absolutely exposed in that instant. Collision course possible here.
One
Natex
enemy
alongside
remaining.
Gub. Sushi does end up going down on the northern
Spike
side.
planted.
So now it is all up to Gub here. Try and get the job done. Definitely making their presence known though by firing through some of the smoke. And as soon as the smoke drops, JCN gonna be there to answer. So again, Northeastern, they find these
Last
rounds every
round
once in a
before the
while
switch.
here to at least choke out and stop the bleeding.
I need this.
Last round of the half, of course.
Thank you.
So if this was just a case of defender sided, Saints would absolutely love to get one more on the board here.
Shadows traveling.
Oh gosh, Jello immediately diving on through is going to get taken down super quickly. Gub does at least find one. Straws does end up going down as well. This is a very fast 4-on-2 play here for the side of Northeastern. Big teleport as well to get directly into this. How did Gub find the angle to do so?
Spike planted.
These teleports are
One
absolutely
enemy
ridiculous
remaining.
all over the place.
Last player standing.
Action all over. I'm missing everything. And a possible defuse. Are they going to be able to stick this? They're right on the corner, and an absolute robbery from Wombat. Doesn't even matter that you died because it's halftime.
Switching sides.
What a play there for Gub to find the 3K, for Wombat to stick the defuse. 10-2. Saints just a couple rounds away here of this NACE Varsity Plus East 1 final. And possibly getting themselves a division championship if they can keep this momentum in their favor. But God forbid if this is a defender-sided map, we could still be here for a long time. But at least we have cute kitten emotes at least.
Where are you?
So we'll have to see how the Saints are on attack here. So as of right now, just gonna keep things all split up. A little bit of a line of scrimmage going across the center. Defensively, you got a bit of a 2-2-1 or 2-1-2 coming out from the side of Northeastern.
I have the
Saints gonna
spike.
eventually move their way up. Darm is there alongside Brayville. They do end up moving up too far up there. Wombat, though, through center is going to be able to find the elimination. Jello has to be careful, though, with all that attention now being in the center. Crossing would be a little bit dangerous. But the coast eventually becomes clear, and it's going to be their opportunity to move on forward. Looking like B site going to be the pick. Natex has been smoked out.
I'm out of here.
All Saints on point. Sushi looking to move on forward, but that is a lot of fire coming on through. A little bit of AoE damage. Or no, it actually was all on Sushi. Sushi fires on through, finds one, but three coming the other way.
30 seconds left.
Gubb and Strolls. All up to Gubb now. Takes the one, but you have to deal with the other two coming the other way. Takes the plants, but the defenders will take this one. Northeastern stopping the death ball coming out there from the Saints.
Broken.
And keeping themselves in the game 10-3.
It's fine.
And an incredible turn of events here on Saints Gaming CA4 with the Call of Duty team. All the way to Game 7, and it's 2-2 in a Search and Destroy. Does not get much closer than that, but heck, if we keep seeing matches like we're seeing right here, on this one, if that defending side can make the comeback, if Northeastern can make the comeback, we might have a little bit of an overtime scenario of our own. Sushi trying to make that Sheriff work for them. Gets the one, but it's going to be immediately reflagged +1 as Darm also finds one, or JCN rather, falls one as well. Good on Jello, though, to go the other way. But you got to watch out for Natex around the corner. Gubb going to be the point blank face checker in this instance. Gets taken down. Both of them were looking the wrong way, allowing for Natex to just open fire. Charles going to get this thing planted, but you can see they're starting to collapse on in, and all you have is just a regular classic. Nothing you can do in that instance. That's going to be yet another going on over to Northeastern University. Captain Tamerica Rubba Gub Gub. Oh, geez, Endeavor. That's a first. Well, I'm sure the Gub would love to be on a roster that can be considered as a divisional champion here in NACE Varsity Plus. Still definitely within reach, but I'm not going to lie, the defensive side of things is kind of starting to be a little bit scary with the way those last couple of rounds have gone. Excuse me. Doing the last 2 days of casting after not casting for what seems like months. My voice is definitely begging for help, but bear with me if I do accidentally cough. I promise to try to turn away when I can. No commits as of right now here for the Saints. They don't even pick up the spike at this point. Still basically at spawn.
Gotta go.
Sushi
There.
not gonna end up picking it up either. Definitely taking it slow. There's a good little opportunity there for Jello. Caught Arca with the Sova dart out. Opens up the site. Now it's going to be Sushi stunned up pretty badly. But on the flank, Gubb going to try and teleport on in. Look for eliminations or look for the plants. You don't have much time either way. Shots from the other side. Wombat going to find a bunch, actually. All down to one member left. It is just up to JCN. They will end up planting, and they will eventually run directly into Sushi. Saints getting their 11th on the board here. Went from extremely slow to just blink and you miss it. I guess that's Valorant in a nutshell for you. And Saints doing it right as of this moment. Economy-wise, neither of these teams are in a good position. Saints in a better position, but not by a whole heck of a lot. Definitely can't be throwing away guns, throwing away their lives. Sushi alongside Straw is going to be looking towards that B site where there is one waiting. NACE does have the camera available, and they do also have Barbarian right there, as well as they go get the ultimate orb.
I'm out of here.
Lots of pressure through the smoke, lots of shots, but nobody actually getting hurt at all in this instant. Made everybody a little bit scared, I think, but not enough to actually go for the engage. Made a little noise over on the B site, but now Gub alongside Jello making their way towards A. Rest of the Saints are short to follow. All kind of funneling in through that one angle, though. We'll go directly through Darm. Shots fired. That's going to be the go button necessary here for the rest of the Northeastern squad to go on through. Dives on through. Sushi does, but does not quite find it. JCN's going on an absolute tear here in this one. Everyone from the Saints have fallen, with the exception of Strauss. Strauss finds one, but he has to somehow ace this in order to get this play to happen. Pops a smoke, looks the other way. Valiant attempts, but not enough. Saints gonna fall, and that makes Northeastern get their 5th point on the board.
Radical contingency units in Loading Bay 9 are ready for delivery to our transportation hub. All staff with level 6 clearance, please immediately report to the loading bay.
Saints have a little bit in the pocket, but I think they're going to opt to save this time by. See what they can do. Just basically pistols and maybe an SMG. And finger guns. They charge onto that B site, honestly, kind of freely, all things considered. The rest of this Northeastern squad has shown up, however. Gonna make it a little bit awkward. Well, with the spike planted, the Saints do get to at least try to pull off a post plant here, but the defuse is coming on through. They're able to at least scare them off the point for the time being. Fade ult coming on through, getting some work done. Jello getting tagged up, barely gonna end up falling. It's gonna be all up to Wombat to try and stop the defuse.
Find you.
Shots fired, gets the one, but the defuse is gonna go down. Wombat will eventually fall, and to be fair, 3 out of 5 down, that's some solid damage for just a pistol round. But dang, they're actually kind of close to actually securing that round. Even being underpowered like that. Well, let's see if after that save, if this gives the Saints the opportunity to kind of snowball through and take the rest of this series. Hovering towards that A site. Now actually going up towards the middle where we do see Arkoff.
Scanning
I'm
ahead.
going to have to use the dart to try and just make sure that everything's okay. If they can get the info necessary to catch which way they're going to end up going.
Gotta go.
She dives on through, chases down Arkoff, successful elimination. But watch out from the other side, it's going to be Bavarieville. Taking the elimination that time by. Natex goes down, Gub finds them. Barbarieville again, though, in position to maybe get a cut off. No, actually, not looking the right way. That smoke in perfect position. Means Gub gets to get their chance to go onto the site. Ultimate come out here from Strauss as well. The wall hacks coming on through.
Going out.
All the vision in the world on top of it with that Cypher. Looking like a good round here for St. Clair. Darm and JCN versus 4. Saints take care of this one. That's going to then be match point threatened. JCN, fantastic double kill though. Holy smokes, is this the opportunity they need? They got greedy though. Looked for the smoke play, and that was enough time for Gub and Jello to finish the job. Match point, championship point. right here for St. Clair if they can get one more. The taste of victory is definitely right there, but that's also when you get the spiciest taste or the spiciest scent. It can be a little bit revolting at times to try and keep pushing forward. Feels like it bites back. Kind of like how Darm did right then and there. Immediately meeting the Saints in the middle and taking care of Wombat.
I have retrieved the spike.
Arca extremely deep here in the smoke. Gub would not normally. So did he see the barrel? I don't think he did, but he spots ahead eventually, but the Sheriff play coming out huge from Arca. 5-on-3 now in the favor of Northeastern.
Not ready yet.
All the info in the world here for Arca as well. It's a fantastic round for them, getting the 2 eliminations plus all the scouting info. Jello looking for them, does eventually find, does get the flick. Sheriff versus assault rifle in that instance. I mean, 8 times out of 10, that's probably the assault rifle. Jello gonna get stunned up, but at least gets behind the box before anybody can really pursue him. This round is not over.
30 seconds left.
Awkward spot here. Sushi going to be leading the charge here for the Saints to possibly get themselves a championship win. Strauss manages to find one. Sushi's still in behind enemy lines. He has a bunch of them. It's one left. The Saints have to plant though. As Bavaryaville goes down. St. Clair College Academy, your Varsity Plus East 1 Division champions. And just like that, it is all over. Academy squad end up being the champions here today after a fantastic back and forth battle. 2-1 again here for the Academy squad. 2-1 during the regular season, 2-1 once again.